Well, we vanquished an ancient evil. We vanquished a flamboyantly dressed not-so-ancient evil. Let's go on to vanquishing necromantic evil. That's right, we've got the Dwarven Graveyard as our next stop. And, well, Dwarven Graveyard consists of 2 levels. The upper level is full with the most enormous amount of undead you've ever seen in this game, and we'll only see once again. But not really dangerous, well, to me. Again, most of these guys are skeletons and zombies, which are not dangerous at all, and since you can't really avoid getting surrounded, at least get yourself surrounded by most of these. And whenever another type of monster, for instance this ghoul, enters melee range, prioritize them if you can. Same goes for the shadow, except I have a shield of zombies and skeletons that keeps the shadow from reaching me right now. What you also should do is wield a blessed weapon, which I'm not sure I have. Now that my hatch of penetration got merped. So, nah. Blessed pickaxe, there's a limit to what's worth it when it comes to blessed weapons. Just going to hope my sword of sharpness is blessed. Thanks to the ancient mummy wrapping I recovered from a pyramid, this place doesn't really hold a lot of danger for me at all. Well, I could get into a lot of danger if I try to open these graves. There can be some nice treasure in the ones that say they have nice treasure. Not sure who is going to write that on a soapstone, but apparently they did, and these graves are incredibly dangerous, so I wouldn't really open them at all. Except if you like loot that much, but at least have a wand of teleportation. I'm not going to try it or demonstrate it. At least not right now. Instead I'm going to get rid of these monsters. Again, the shadows and the whites should be prioritized, as well as the ghouls. The ghoul because of his paralysis attack, and the shadows and the whites because they have attacks that lower your strength, which is not a good thing. Because you lose those strength points permanently, and I'm a barbarian, and I kinda like my 25 strength. Thank you very much. No, you're not going to run from me. Can get a bit old, all these monsters and creatures, and yeah, raw meat is awesome. Okay. Usually you get some decent loot while killing all the undead at the top level. I have found dragon scale armor frequently here. So it's not a bad place, because the monsters are relatively tame in comparison to the items you can get. Haven't gotten much luck though, yet. Haven't had much luck. Oh well, sure. Iron shot gauntlets are gauntlets of strength, which is an excellent thing to have. I can't put them on because my black gauntlets are cursed. But I will definitely keep an eye on these things, because they can have excellent strength modifiers, which kind of adds to my already awesome girdle of strength. I kind of wish they were iron gauntlets instead of iron shot gauntlets. Well, not kind of, I really wish, because that's an artifact item. The gauntlets of strength. Iron fist. See, that's one of the graves that can have great treasure, but also have an incredibly powerful undead monster. I'm not going to spoil what it is for you, but do not open these graves unless you're absolutely certain you can get away if you have to. I mean, it's not like you have to return to this place after you've done the bottom level. Jade ring, that could be a ring of invisibility, which is an excellent item. Invisibility is great because, contrary to other games, you can actually attack while you're invisible. And monsters do not like that. The Adamantium Halberd, I can deal with that. It's not bad. So I haven't hit the jackpot yet. Unless that Jade Ring really was a Ring of Invisibility, then I guess I have. But I don't know that yet. Mithril. I'm not going to even bother with these quarterstaffs, even though I know they're Mithril. Same for the spear. I'm at a point in the game where Mithril is, well, okay. Mithril, great, awesome. Ringmail, 240 stones. That's a higher metal armor. I'm going to take that with me. Though I guess it's probably only Mithril also. Mithril ringmail isn't really that awesome. And what do I have here? Hurfling bread. I'm going to eat. Crystal shield. I already have a large crystal shield, and medium crystal shields are usually not better than them. But I'm going to take it with me in any case. You never know. Get rid of these shadows. Kill some zombies. It's great to have armor, really. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Kill some undead. This is perhaps the closest thing I've ever played to a survival horror game. I don't really enjoy that game genre at all. And I have a hard time being afraid of zombies, because ADOM zombies are some of the weakest creatures ever. But apparently some people like these games. Not sure why. I like this one. And now I can enter the bottom level of the Dwarven Graveyard, which is past the mausoleum. You hear someone chuckling evilly. I don't know what it sounds like, but I'm going to find my way through. It's excessively helpful to have seen this place a couple of times, because I know exactly which way I have to go by now. I even instinctively avoid some of the traps that are here. For instance, I walk diagonally here, because I know that the square below me, and the square below me have traps, and I walk around them. That's something that will happen once you've played this game often enough, because this place is always the same, the trap layout is always the same. It's kind of hurts your replayability, but much of the rest of the game isn't like that, so I'm fine with it. And I'm not fine with that. What's happened? My steel braces are... Whoa, that's some shit-ass acid. And one of my hours of slaying. Oh, at least it was only one. And I walked... Huh. So much for knowing the layout by heart, I guess. That was unnecessary. I still have... Oh, come on! My sword got rusted? What do I do now? First take this spear, and now I think I have oils of rust removal. Yep, but that one's cursed. I've got a regular oil of rust removal too, so let's dip, which is the exclamation mark command, this rusty sword of sharpness in the oil of rust removal. That was a kind of fail. Let's try this again. Dip the rusty sword of sharpness into the oil of rust removal. Excellent. I can use it again. Why did it get rusty? Well, there was one too many water traps, and I guess if you've watched me playing, you probably realized this sooner than I have. The stupid sword got rusty. Kind of lucky that I didn't accidentally use it long enough for it to get broken as well, because I'm not sure I have a scroll of repair. Well, time to prepare for the boss battle. There are two exceptionally dangerous enemies in there. Well, in addition to all the undead. One of which is... Where are you? Right, that purple Z. Purple is a color you're going to learn to hate, because it denotes the various chaos monsters. this case, this is probably the monster with the most badass name in all of ADOM. Griff Bloodaxe, the Undead Chaos Dwarven Berserker. Griff Bloodaxe. And he is rather uncomplicated to fight in melee, but he has a crucial weakness. You then have to fight him directly. Or perhaps sometimes you should, because you can defeat him in two ways. You can fight him and kill him eventually. Kill him meaning destroy him, like any other undead. Or you can go to his grave, which is here, and pour holy water over it. Use holy water while on the grave. That will also kill him and even get you the XP. So that's a pretty good deal. Costs 1 holy water, but on the whole, it's kind of cooler than having to dismember him in person. I can go both ways. I think so, at least. Let's try this. It's kind of hard to damage him because he has a lot of PV and a lot of HP. So it can take some time, and he can hit relatively hard during this time, but not to 29 points of PV. That's above him. I'm too powerful. So much for Griff Bloodaxe. Let's go further. There's a Wraith Corpse. Now I'm going to do something which is going to seem excessively strange. I'm going to eat the corpse of this undead creature. And if you've paid attention, my toughness value has increased by 1. There are 3 types of undead. 4, maybe, I'm not sure, that you can eat and get toughness points from it. Which is something you should always do, because toughness is one of the best stats in this game. It's wights, wraiths, and vampires. That's right, you can eat vampires and get you toughness points. I'm not sure about specters, if they even leave corpses and if they increase toughness, but I think they can. But specters are relatively rare. Usually you're going to find wraith corpses and white corpses and sometimes a vampire corpse. Corpse eating in ADOM is one of the best ways to get ahead. Okay, it's a little more than a gimmick, really, but it's fun. You eat a creature and you receive benefits. Okay, now I'm going to have to fight the true evil in this caverns, because that Dwarven Chaos Berserker was really controlled by this guy, Nonak the Master Necromancer. He can be a bit more nasty, because his melee attacks, his critical hits, can deal a good amount of damage, and he has an Ice Bolt spell, much like the Ogre Magi. And there's a reason I went to Rehadeb's Pyramid and got the Ancient Mummy wrapping. Among other things, it provides immunity to ice, all kinds of ice attacks, which is excellent to have against both Nonak and in the arena. So I have the luxury of being able to defeat Nonak in ranged combat, because he only has ice spells, and I can shoot him with arrows, and he is not immune to arrows at all. Even if he went into melee, I could probably still take him. But first I have to go through his undead. This is a kind of annoying thing about some enemies in this game. They summon monsters, and then you spend all this time fighting these monsters, killing them in one hit, and on the other hand, that's part of the challenge. You have to get at the goodies, so to speak. That's not a time to start missing things. Why are you such a crap archer? Now, so, surprise, surprise, I have to kill some more of these stupid zombies, skeletons. And now I shall best you in personal combat. I feel like really messing this guy up. So I'm going to try and use my mighty blow for the first time in this video series. And see how he likes that. He went all the way from uninjured to moderate. That's nice, but I can do better. Well, apparently not. And I'm already in berserk mode. This is disappointing. Come on, you can do better than that? Yes, use ice spells. That's the best way. Come on. I don't have enough ice spells. You are hit by a cone of magical ice. You resist the icy blast. Isn't that a shame? And now you're trying to run. Oh, that's cute. Oh, stupid skeleton, don't get in the way. He's still severely injured. Oh well, I can fight him normally. I don't have to use that. Mighty Blows, especially since he has 0 PV, and if an enemy has 0 PV, the less PV he has, the less useful are Mighty Blows and Tremendous Blows, which is a level 18 class power for barbarians. You want to use Mighty Blows if the opponent you face has a lot of PV, meaning that you have to deal a lot of damage to even get past his armor and really damage him. 0 PV means I can hit him with 1 damage and he will receive 1 point of damage. So no. Mighty Blows are not worth it. Because they cost such a high amount of energy points, basically. They deal double damage, but they take 250% the time. So more than double the time. So in a damage per second respect, it's not worth it. Except if the opponent has a lot of PV. And through all the talking, I managed to defeat this dreadful foe. And got some of his. He has nothing. His loot isn't on him. No, there's some loot here, but you have to kind of look around to find it. There are 2 items you can obtain, 2 artifacts, in fact, of different usability. One of which is excellent, and you should get it every game. One of which is situational, and you should only get it with casters, if at all. I think because this is supposed to be somewhat instructional, I'm going to go ahead and get both of these items. First of all, there's this grave. This is the grave of Girth Bloodaxe, but you can only actually read the runes on the grave if you're a dwarf and have 100 literacy. Or maybe only if you're a dwarf, I don't know, but this is his grave. And you can do this. Grave robbing! Woohoo! And take this strange broadsword. Now you might think because it's in his grave, it's his broadsword, but it turns out this broadsword is the sword of Nonak. So it's actually the guy, the Master Necromancer I just killed. I have no idea why he didn't use his sword, and instead buried it with the dwarf guy, but there we are. It's a dwarf sword of Nonak. It has really unimpressive damage values, especially compared to Sword of Sharpness, of course, but it has a willpower modifier of 5, which can be quite useful to a spellcaster in certain circumstances. And here's a wave. Hey, hello. Yes, you're dead now. Again. And the other artifact, which is useful to everyone, is the one guarded by this Bone Golem. Bone Golems are an excellent example for monsters that have a good amount of PV and that where you would benefit from using Mighty Blows, so I'm going to use them. They're also much easier to hit. And he protects this pair of gauntlets. Indistinguishable initially from any other pair of regular gauntlets, but these are elemental gauntlets. I think I should probably uncurse my equipment at some point. 1 second. Let's dip this cursed scroll of uncursing into one of my 14 potions of holy water, which gives you a blessed scroll of uncursing. And now, if you read the blessed scroll of uncursing, all your stuff is uncursed or blessed. All the cursed items have become uncursed. I can get rid of these black gauntlets. I can try on these Gauntlets of Strength. They are pretty sweet. And I can try on these more regular gauntlets, which are elemental gauntlets. They provide several elemental resistances, which makes them an excellent defensive item. And they are indestructible because they are artifacts. Because they are an artifact. Gauntlets is plural, but it's one item. Anyway, so yeah, these are great. From stats alone, I would be tempted to use the Gauntlets of Strength, but the defensive properties of the elemental gauntlets are much more useful. By the way, if you want to know the defensive properties, or the properties in general of an artifact you find, you have two choices. You can go into the internet and look them up in some resource, for instance the ADOM guidebook, the official ADOM guidebook, or you can use one of these Scrolls of Great Identify, which I'm going to do right now. And, well, that's the elemental gauntlets in a nutshell. Resistance to fire, resistance to cold, resistance to shock. Excellent. That's about all I had to do in this place, so I'm going to leave right now. Yes, I found another trap. Isn't that great? Turns out my knowledge of this level's trap layout wasn't as excellent as I made it out to be. And I think I have time to go back to the Caverns of Chaos and finish up the arena too. And I actually left out an NPC here. Huh, look at that. Let's see here what we have here. It's a beautiful little home in the middle of a lake. Surrounded by a moat or something. Apparently uninhabited. Where is that guy? You never know where he is. He can be anywhere on the entire level layout. Sometimes he's in the house, sometimes he's to the left of his house, in front of his house, and sometimes he's just over here for some reason. And here's the old barbarian. Hey, old buddy. What's up?
Well met. A true warrior you art. Slay a score of the monster that was your first kill. If you manage that, come back, and I'll teach you something.
Then that's the quest in a nutshell. You have to kill the monster that was your first kill a number of 20 times. I don't remember my first kill right now, but I have the unique benefit of being able to rewatch my first video and check my first kill. So I'm going to know next time. There's some ways to find out the first kill, of course, if you don't know it, if you haven't taken note of it. But I guess that's a bit of too much scope for here. That doesn't fit the scope of this endeavor. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the arena. Kill some monsters on the way. Yes, 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 you are all dead. And oh no, one of these cats. Okay, I'm going to run around the cat. This door is locked. That's not good. Let's kick it. Okay, we got a silver wolf, a goblin berserker. Let's go. The arena, fight in the arena. Dum-be-dum-be-dum. Hello, dear merchants who only ever have one customer in their entire lives. Here's Dak, the arena master. I'm ready. One more fight and you'll beat a new champion. This is the champion fight. Oh, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Who do I get to fight? Who do I get to... I knew it would be you. Lihan Kai, the Ogre Magus. He is also invisible, but yet I can still see him. That is the awesomeness of the ancient mummy wrapping. It also provides, in addition to immunity cold, which is his main attack, the ability to see invisible. Basically, the ancient mummy wrapping is the ancient mummy wrapping of screwing over ogre magi. Yeah, you know, it's just an ogre in fancy clothes. Ogre in fancy clothes. And you know what that means? You get kicked in the butt. Yeah, I know, you're fleeing. Isn't that cute? Well, I'm sorry, but this is the arena. Fleeing is kind of impossible for you. And oh, he dropped a corpse. eating that corpse would improve my magical capabilities. On the other hand, I just fought the last of the champion fights, so I already have the golden gladius. And if I fight again, which I can, I get a random monster, and these random monsters can be excessively dangerous. So it's kind of a risk. Only not really, because I really want this corpse. Okay. Also, I have one of teleportation and can flee at any time. And looky here, it's a vampire, and either the corpse rotted away or he took it. Vampire, I guess. I already have blessed arrows, so I don't really want to fight a vampire melee because they can be pretty dangerous, and they have also have an attack that drains strength. Thank you. But I have enough PV, I think, to be able to defeat this vampire quite handily, and I still don't get a corpse because can't you wait until I loot the guys before you? Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going back in. Now I can eat the corpse. I also want my stupid arrows back because those are blessed arrows. I can't never have enough of those. And now my opponent is a giant large rust monster. That's also not exactly trivial. Mostly because if they do hit me, they bypass my armor, so I have to rely on my HP score and the DV. But turns out it was easy enough. Excellent. Now I can't wait for the reward for that kill arena quest. So I'm going to go back to Dwarf Town. Also because I get a reward for killing that necromancer too. Quest rewards. Isn't that awesome? The life of an ADOM adventurer. Killing things. Getting rewards. And I still get learning increases. What the hell? That is excellent. I love my learning. Oh, it's Elven Chainmail. I love Elven Chainmail. Mostly because it's not only pretty sturdy, but it weighs next to nothing. So it's pretty much the only piece of body armor you can just take with you in case you need it. Okay. Thundar, I want my stuff.
I sense it. Just freed, Griff Spirit. You truly hast shown the mark of a great hero. Your valor is unquestionable.
Well, I hope so, now that you've asked me to kill a goblin and a master necromancer, which was kind of a huge leap up.
Thus, we will permit you to venture into the depths of this dungeon, which contain the most dangerous and most foul beasts.
Well, thank you. The ancient dwarf pulls a stone lever, rising from the floor. Ooh, grating sound. The way now is free for you. You shall keep the sword you took from this grave. Oh, Why did I tell him that? I must be an idiot. Well, I had my good reasons.
Use it wisely.
Yeah, okay. Here's some more stuff you might find useful on your quest. Ooh, gimme.
Now go and save our future.
Okay, what do we have here? It's one of digging, that's nice, and one of fireballs, that's nice, and 7 golden potions. That's also nice, because I think I know what they are. I know what they are, but Rune can also tell me. Those are potions of extra healing. Some of the best stuff you can have is potions of extra healing. Because if they are blessed, they heal pretty much exactly 330 HP. Which, even in a late game, or the latest of late games, is pretty much enough to completely save your life. These are emergency buttons, and you want to have many of them as possible. Well, I want to go back now. I forgot the other quest.
Take these fine items as an addition to your equipment.
Oh, I got a metal cap, mail, shield, girdle, boots, a longsword, and ring of fire resistance. These items are pretty much... It's a complete set of mithril equipment, which is pretty much crap at this point, because my equipment is already better than that. But I just can't hurt. I guess it can't hurt. Let's flock some stuff. Why not? Oh yeah, I think I can switch out that hat. Okay, I'm going to go back to wearing the Helm of Mental Stability, because learning is great. I'm going to keep that thing on. Braces, I'm going to switch for the silver brace. No, that's a brace. I wish I still had a steel braces. I bet they were better than this shit. Mithril boots, alright. If I don't have anything better, it will have to do. And I think that's about covers it. Let's get rid of these hats. I don't really need... I only need one replacement cap, really. Get rid of these mail, because... Oh, well, I don't have to, I guess. I can try out how much PV it has, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be better than a mummy wrapping. And rail. Okay, the Mithril ring mail was a dud. Whoops. Huh, kind of missed something there. Oh dear. Okay, now I can go back to trying on that chainmail. 9 PV. And chainmail or mummy wrapping. 4 PV is a significant difference, and as nifty as the mummy wrapping's powers are, they are also quite situational. I can keep the ancient mummy wrapping, wear the adamantium chainmail, and switch to the mummy wrapping if I really need it. Because for everything else, I think the adamantium chainmail is a bit better. But objectively, I have to say I still have to keep wearing the 4 PV isn't that much in this case. Okay, I'm going to go back to using the ancient mummy wrapping. Going to sell the heavy armor. And I forgot that I should probably try out these shields too. I can afford to do that because I already made sure they weren't cursed. DV is everything on a shield, so I'm going to use that 1 point of DV, even though the medium crystal shield has 4 extra points of melee to hit. I'm going to keep it for when I need 2 shields though, or a replacement shield. Yeah, I don't really need any of these gauntlets because I would have the elemental gauntlets. Neither do I probably need these gloves. I am not going to need this regular mithril girdle because the other girdle is better. I don't really want to carry the heavy boots around, even if it means I don't have a spare. I'm going to use the Sword of Nanak wisely by flogging it in this store. Going to sell a mace, going to sell a spear, going to sell a large hammer. Going to keep the golden gladius because in another use, halberd and two-handed sword can go. But I'm going to pay attention how much money I get for them, because that gives my hints about what I can do. I keep forgetting that I can just try them out. I'm going to do that, but first I'm going to have to finish the spring cleaning. And that's about it. Yep. I kind of want to know what these weapons do. It's a regular adamantium halberd. That's regular mithril two-handed sword. Nope, not gonna use them. And I'm going to go and sell 8 of my 9 Cs. Excellent. And that means I'm just about done here. I should probably check. 1 second. No. Water potions. Here there are 2 here. Another 3 here. Two of these, the two are probably already blessed, but you never know. More holy water, also excellent. And now, to set up for the next video, I'm going to find out... Oh, I still forgot one thing. All these chores. Bart. Hello, Bart.
Hey, you got a golden gladius. You must be a promising fighter. I won 2 of those in me days. Lost both of them when my home village was pillaged by an elder chaos worm. Damn. Lost everything on that day. Wife, children, dog. Does she want to exchange the gladius for some training I might give you?
Are you sure you want a gladius? I think you could use therapy. But okay.
Okay, now listen.
Yep. Some awesome training. Skill out of fighting. I got some increases for my weapon skills. But even more importantly, I get some proper skills added to my list, which are backstabbing, tactics, which is probably one of the best skills in the entire game, and I also got it at an excellent value, and 2-weapon combat, which is essential if you want to try 2-weapon combat, which would be nicer if 2-weapon combat on it didn't suck in this game. Trust me, it does. It really does. But we can have them fight in the comment section if you want to. But yeah, dual wielding is shit in this game. Anyway, I think I'm going to save the game here. But I promise that the next game will have another boss fight very quickly. Until then,